evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get into today's video, Huawei App Gallery still have coupons running. The coupons that can give you discount and money back on your Huawei account. So they are giving 30% off on a coupon on anything that you spend in World of Tanks Blitz. So you buy something using Huawei App Gallery, you will get 30% off of the actual price. But on top of that, you will also get 5% of points back with Huawei app, with the App Gallery. So you can use them points on anything using the Huawei App Gallery. So you spend money in the game, you will get 5% of that money back as points on the App Gallery, along with the 30% discount. So download Huawei App Gallery now. If you're not in EU, you may have to use a VPN, but you can give it a try. It may work. But yeah, download Huawei App Gallery now. Links are in the description. Back to today's video. Today's video, we're going to have a look at the Object 84, a tank I haven't actually had a look at for a very, very long time. And in fact, when this tank was first released, I did actually call it a disappointment because leading up to the Object 84 and beyond the 84, the T100 Lite, I thought the T100 was absolutely amazing. It really, really was. And I thought the Object 84 was just a big step down from the T100. And even though it's only a tier below, I'm not asking, I wasn't expecting it to be as good as the T100, but it was, in my opinion, miles and miles apart. So I was disappointed with it, but maybe I didn't give it the love I do think it deserves, because having played it since then, to be honest, I don't think it's a bad tank. I really don't think it's a bad tank. I still think it is below par to what the T100 is. And again, the T100 is a tier 10 tank, and this is a tier 9 tank, so I'm not expecting the world. But yeah, it is better than I originally thought. So of course it does have the tracer shells, and it does have the concealment in movement. It is a light tank. Basically, the tracer shells, as you can see here, it makes the tank visible for 20 seconds. So a tank that you shoot is visible for 20 seconds rather than the 10, which is a nice thing to actually have. So the armor profile on the tank is a bit tricky. It's not the best by all means, but it is a bit troll, especially when you are top tier. Now, the turret is only 90 millimeters and the hull is only 100. So of course, on paper, it isn't a very good tank when it comes to armor at all. Your DPM 2600. Again, DPM is nothing special. Now, we are running this with calibrated shells, so do bear that in mind. The reload time is only 7 seconds, just over 7 seconds. So that, again, that's not too bad for the reload. Your penetration on your AP is 230, on your heat is 297. So it actually gives it not bad penetration on that heat round. So 55 on your HE. Your average damage, you're doing 310 alpha with your AP, 260 on your heat, and 420 on your HE. 3.1 aim time, which I don't think is overly bad. The dispersion, I think, could be better, but these light tanks, it's not about the aim time, really. It's not about the gun dispersion or the accuracy, because it's a light tank. You need to do your job in a light tank, and that is what this tank is all about. If you can do your job as a light tank, then this tank will perform much better. It does only have 5 degrees of gun depression with a top speed of 65 kilometers per hour. So it definitely is a light tank that you should be doing your light tank job. If you're not doing your light tank job, then it's not going to feel as nice as it should, especially against those tier 10 tanks. You might struggle. So what do I mean about by light tank jobs? You know, each role, each tank type has its own role. Some tanks are better than the others at doing that role. So a light tank is really all about spotting the tanks on the enemy team, seeing where they are, seeing where they go, which then will allow your team to make up their mind where they want to go. And at least it allows your team to know where they are. And that is your job, ultimately, as a light tank. Now, the best thing about the light tanks is because they are usually very, very quick, you can get around the map very, very quickly. And you can relocate very, very quickly. And that is what you need to do when you are using this tank, as well as most other light tanks. So I've had a look at the team, I've done my job, I've seen where the majority of the team are, so then I am going to make my move behind the 2 tanks that went this way to help my 2 tanks that are here. So now it was a 2 versus 2, and now it's become a 3 versus 2. We managed to take care of that TS5 very, very quickly, and it has all of a sudden become a 3 versus 1 around this side of the map. And we've all survived. So at this point, I don't want to lose no hit points from this yo, so I'm going to wait, and then as soon as he comes out, obviously I don't get the shot, and then we can move on. Now, sadly, our team from behind has not managed to sort of hold it, but there are a few low hit point tanks on the enemy team. So I'm looking again, you can see me looking around the map, seeing where I want to go, and I'm like, okay, this Borzik over here is isolated. He is all on his own. The other 3 tanks, or now the other 2 tanks, have been spotted around the other side of the map. So this Borzik is all on his own. So, and pretty much my team are all around this kind of area. So if I could push him, use HE, I can take care of him very, very quickly. So that was a very nice shot there. 367 damage into that guy. That was, however, poor, but we did manage to get a bounce from the Borzik. So we can keep going, and we can keep doing damage. So we managed to get 1 bounce, which, yes, was lucky, but we managed to take his entire hit points away from him without losing a single hit point. And then we can move on. It is a 3 versus 2, so we still need to be careful. But even as a light tank, when I'm top tier, I've still managed to block 1260 damage. So yes, the armor profile isn't the greatest, but it can still bounce, which is what I said at the beginning. It is very tricky, or it can be very, very tricky. So now there's just 1 tank left alive, which of course is the AMX-13. So we're going to get 1 final shot into him, and we managed to do almost 3.5k damage. And again, we blocked 1260 damage on top of that. So I don't think that is bad. I think that game really shows a classic example how to use the tank. Yes, we didn't get the best of damages, but sometimes a light tank isn't all about the damage. You know, it's about helping your team. You're not a heavy tank going front line, or you're not a medium tank sort of brawling against other medium tanks. You are a light tank at the end of the day, and if you do your job properly, you're not really supposed to get that much damage. You're supposed to allow your team to get damage, but of course it doesn't always play like that. The name of the game is to get as much damage as you possibly can. So here, this map, now again, this isn't the best of replays, it isn't the best of damage games, but I thought I played this really, really well. And again, it just goes to show how to play a proper excuse me, how to play it like a proper light tank. So of course I did spot 2 tanks, 1 light tank and the tank destroyer. So I'm not going to be stupid and go front line. I'm going to wait for my team. There is only 1 other teammate around here somewhere, which is there, a Persian. So I'm not just going to go full guns blazing. Yes, I did get shot from this other light tank here, but I know he's on a long reload. I can potentially get 2 shots into him, and I could easily take him out on my own. Yes, I may have to take a shot again in return, but I might get lucky and I might get a bounce, or he might miss, which is exactly what's just happened. So I'm going to ignore the T30. Of course I'm going to ignore the T30. I'm going to try to ram at this guy here, and then all of a sudden, again, it goes from a 2 versus 2, 2 tier 9 tanks versus 1 tier 9 and a tier 8, to now versus 2 tanks versus 1, and very, very easy, especially when the T30 misses his shot. So we're going to take him out pretty quickly, and all of a sudden we're on 2,400 damage. We've got 2 kills, and it's a 7 versus 5, now a 7 versus 6. So we're going to now use it as a light tank, and we need to get around the map pretty quickly before our team start dying. But this is where I'm going to stop. Like, okay, there's a tank here. I can take care of him, no problem. I'm not worried about the damage. All I'm worried about is taking the guns out of the game. So I'm not, at this point, going to rush straight in, because as soon as I get there, I'm afraid that one of my teammates will die. Either this one on the left side, if I get there, the object 752, I'm going to be on my own. The same with that tank right there, the Emil 2. If I push and help him, by the time I get there, he's probably going to die, and then I'm facing 3 tanks right in front of me. So I've took my time just to wait. Yes, it is now a 2 versus 4, but I'm still like, okay, most of them are low hit points. As long as I can take out the one-shots first, it shouldn't actually be too much of an issue. So, of course, I go for the isolated object 752, take him out, and all of a sudden, the last 3 tanks are all one-shots. I've still got the hit points to deal with these guys. Take him out without getting shot, no problem. And all of a sudden, it's just 2 tanks left. There goes one tank left. I can take a shot from him, no problem. I'm on 6 kills. Of course, I'm going to go for the kill, and I'll get 7 kills. I think that was a classic example of a proper light tank game. And when you do play it like a light tank, the tank really does feel better than I originally said, which was a disappointment. So you play it correctly, it's not so much of a disappointment, and it can be a fun light tank to play. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm meadsy69. Let me know your comments, your views on the Object 84 in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye.
With